At the age of 17, far too young to understand childbirth or parenthood, Rhoda, not her real name, got pregnant with her first son. For the young girl from Chumvi area, Laikipia East, it all happened after schools were closed in March 2020 due to Covid-19.
Baada ya shule kufungwa, nilipata mimba, alafu nikakaa nyumbani. Wazazi wangu wakaanza kusema niende kwa mwenye amenipata mimba. Alafu wakakaa kuniambia utaenda. Nikajifungua.
Afraid, alone and depressed, she remembers how difficult it was for her.
Sikuwa nataka kuolewa, lakini wazazi wakanifusia niende hapa.
She was forced to leave home with her baby and start a new life with her 20-year-old husband who completed high school in 2019.
Sikuwa nataka niolewe kabla sijamaliza shule. Maisha ya kuolewa ni Covid disaster. Sasa tunang'ang'ana.
Her story echoes those of hundreds of girls who are left vulnerable by the pandemic. Covid-19 led to unintended consequences, a rise in the number of adolescent pregnancies. When schools reopened in January, Rhoda decided to go back. She's now in Form 3.
Kasema nataka kuenda shule. Alafu wazazi wakaitikia karudi. Ni ngumu kuolewa tena na unasoma. Sasa uwezi ukashika kitu. Wakati ninasoma ninaitwa, alafu mtoto analia tena. Nikichukua kitabu anakaa kucheza hapa, kelele ndio hiyo. Maisha yangu nataka kuwa mwalimu, alafu nipate kuwasaidia wazazi wangu.
Since the outbreak of Covid-19, the government ordered charities to shut down rescue centers to ensure compliance with social distancing measures, leaving many girls vulnerable to the very ills they had escaped from. With schools closed for a period of 9 months, some girls were subjected to the cart. Others were married off. In Dol Dol, Laikipia County, the One More Day Girl Safe House provides refuge to girls who have fled forced marriages and female genital mutilation. The institution was started in 2011. Covid-19 brought sudden changes across the world in 2020, and the rescue center had to quickly adjust and temporarily close down. 16-year-old Betty, not her real name, is among 50 girls that currently call the institution home. Confidence radiates from her eyes, but just 5 months ago, she wasn't sure if she had much of a future. Betty ran away from home in 2012 and sought refuge at the shelter after her father decided she was ripe for marriage. The rescue center is a safe haven for her, but when it was shut down due to Covid-19, she was forced to go back to her home in Kipsing.
Wasasi walikuwa nataka wanikekete, alafu waniitie mzee anioe. Na sikuwa nataka kuolewa juu nataka kumaliza masomo yangu, nikuwe mtu wa maana baadaye. Baba alikuwa anataka nikekete na mama hakuwa anataka mimi niache shule. Sasa baba alikuwa na hiyo mfurugano akipiga mama akisema hapana, yeye anampiga hadi kuna siku alimpiga hadi akalazwa hospitali, alimpiga kichwa hapa akamkata.
Betty was in a dilemma.
Sikuwa nalala nyumbani, nilikuwa natoroka kwenda kulala kwa yenyewe. Siku nyingine nalala kichakani. Hadi nikaamua kutoroka kwenda mahali ingine kwa sister yangu. Huko ndio niliweza kwenda kukaa na nikapigia mamele nikamwambia penye mambo yaliendelea, na akaniambia tafanya juu chini ili tuweze kurudi huko. Sikuwa na fare yote, nilitembea miguu siku 2 kuanzia Kipsing hadi huko. Njia ni ndefu. Nadi kuna ndovu, kuna wanyama wengi sana. Sikuweza kupata usaidizi yote njiani.
For now, Betty is happy to be back at the rescue center.
My future is to be a doctor. So, nang'ang'ana sana juu nataka kusaidia wasichana wengine wenzangu wenye huko manyumbani. Wenye waliteseka kama mimi na wenye bado wanateseka. So, niko hapa kusoma, ndio maana sitaki kurudi nyumbani.
Doris, not her real name, chats with her sister. The two girls lost in conversation, seemingly choosing to pay no mind to their shared pain that brought them back here. Being in school offered Doris and her sibling a sense of security, but schools closed. The two sisters feared they could not this time escape the cart, and they didn't.
Wakati tumeenda nyumbani, tukalala tu hiyo siku moja, siku ingine tunastukia watu wamekuwa wamejaa nyumbani. Kesho asubuhi tunastukia wamama wanatushika. Tulikuwa na namba ya Mama Helen, lakini hapo haikuwa na network ya kupiga hapo, na haikuwa na polisi. Wamama wengi wanakuja wanazunguka, mtu wanakushika, mwingine anashika mimi, mwingine anadama, tunatairiwa kwa hiyo pali moja. Kwa uchungu sana, na huyo mama alitukata hata vibaya sana. Wakati tena tulikuwa tumekaa nyumbani, tunaambiwa ati kuna tena kama one more day haitafunguliwa, tutaolewa tena, na mtaolewa hata mtajua ni siku gani. Tulirudi Disemba huko, tunashindwa hata sasa one more day kiza fungwa, tunaenda wapi? Na tukaenda office tu hiyo, tutaolewa hiyo.
It's a year down the line. She can't go to the toilet properly, so we were thinking about taking her for reconstructive surgery because she says she's constantly feeling pain.
Doris and her sister escaped their torment at home when they were just 7 years old. It was a long trek from Oldonyiro to Dol Dol, surviving on just water to escape a forced marriage.
Sisi tulikuwa tunatoroka, tulikuwa tunajua tunaenda wapi. Tukakujanga, tukalala juu ya mti, asubuhi tukaamukia, mtu atakuwa karibu kuzimia juu ya njaa tu.
Through all the hardship, they still hope for better days. Margaret, whose name has been changed to protect her identity, has lived at the rescue center for 5 years. Her father had tried to get her to undergo the cart. With the shelter temporarily closed, Margaret in March of 2020 had to go back home, back to her persecutors.
Sasa nilienda nyumbani, sasa watu wakaanza kusema wanaenda kukeketa wasichana. Yaani wanachukua wasichana wakiwa watu wengi, wasichana marelative tu, wanachukua wanaenda kutairi mahali mbali sana huku Samburu chini. Baba ndiye alikuwa ni mkali sana. Sasa niende alisema nikekete.
She was determined to leave her nightmare behind and chase her dreams.
Wakati sasa watu walikuwa napangiwa kesho kufanya sasa hivi, nikatoroka hiyo jioni. Nikasema hata kama nitaenda kukuliwa na wanyama, ili nini nikuliwa na wanyama, but mimi siwezi fanywa hivi. Kulikuwa na giza mwingi sana, na tena ni msituni, nikapatana na ndovu. Nikasema ndovu nataka kusema ndovu itaniulia hapa, si mimi nikangangana kwanza yangu nilifika saa 10 ya usiku.
Against all the odds, she has survived.
Wasasi tu wanasema kwa kimdomo tutamlaani. Mimi sikujali. Mimi nikakuja kama laana itanifuata, wacha inifuate.
For the girls, the rescue center represents safety and a hope for a better tomorrow.
Nataka nikae huku, nisome, nijue future yangu.
Nikikumbuka sasa nyumbani na hizi vibaya sana, hata siwezi tamani sasa niende nyumbani.
Kama sio masomo, hiyo maneno yote ulipitia itaendelea kuwa mpaka.
Helen Gadhogo is the founder of One More Day Safe House,
na ndio uweze kumaliza ile uliona.
A home for young girls subjected to female genital mutilation and early marriage and robbed of their childhood and dreams. Since it started in 2011, the rescue center has rescued more than 1,000 girls, providing them with shelter, food, clothing, education, counseling and healthcare. Though the practice of FGM was criminalized in Kenya in 2011, thousands of families still perform it to date, especially in rural areas. The closure of schools and rescue centers created a ripe environment for the illegal practice to continue. In pastoralist communities, FGM transforms girls to women who are then married off in exchange for livestock.
When they went home for almost a year, a lot of them, about 70% of them came back when they were cut. And others are going through trauma. Right now we have engaged a special person to do the trauma counseling.
We lost 11 girls to like pregnancy. So we don't even have some girls, we can't even like locate where they are right now. Our hard work, and you see we were progressing well, we've built the house. They are almost good girls, they are almost blossoming, and kept crumbling down. We are now starting scratch.
I've just rescued one girl. This girl has run away about 15 kilometers to this place. She's limping, she's emaciated, she has never been in school. She had been cut. It is so sad that the cutters are back, the FGM is back, despite the presidential directive that this be over and finished before 2022.
Right now in my village here where I am, the cases are happening at 99%. The chiefs in the locations, all locations of North, they are aware and they know who and when the FGM is happening. So I totally believe the Nyumba Kumi, the chiefs, and then now the police officers, if everybody was doing their bit, they know it is not right, but they can't report because they don't want to be seen like they are betraying anybody or anyone in the community.
After rescuing, then there is nothing happening as when it comes to arresting. Why? Because of maybe culture and also the terrain. Because once they do that, they run into the forest.
I personally reported 2 cases of early marriages. The father of the girls, yes, he was arrested. It didn't go anywhere because we were told we didn't have it, we didn't bring evidence. We should have brought the Morans who married this girl. Where will we get the Morans? It is the work, it's the arm of the government to know where those Morans are and bring them to book.
Carol, not her real name, is picking up the pieces of her broken childhood. She is the latest addition to the numbers at the rescue center. At the tender age of 14, she was married to a man thrice her age. Dowry had already been paid, but she ran away and walked over 20 kilometers to this safe house.
2 weeks to her staying here when she was going to school, she was abducted again by her brothers. She was taken back to the husband and he trained a lot that night. So it stated that the man was really happy that he got very drunk. So she was supposed to move from that main house and visit the husband who had called her. And in between that, she ran off and came back. So she actually walked here in the morning and she was all wet and crying and said she doesn't want, she's feeling scared. Alleged husband has passed by the institution and was like uttering words like, "I'll get her back." The police have said that the guy cannot be found and they are looking for him, so we are awaiting that. The brothers were shooting in the institution, so we added one security at night. We followed up the case to know who was involved and we reported everything.
Data collected from local health facilities shows a worrying rise in pregnancies in girls aged between 10 and 19 years. By June 2020, a record of 678 pregnant girls within this age bracket attended antenatal clinic in various health facilities in Laikipia North. Laikipia North has the highest burden of teenage pregnancies with a rate of 57.4%, surpassing the county average of 27.1%. Laikipia West is second at 24.7%, while Laikipia East is at 15.1%. Some girls have now dropped out of school.
We had made such gains, and it is the whole system of it, from FGM, from reducing or eliminating early marriages. Now what is happening, when all the kids are back home, then those old traditional cultural things will catch up with us yet again. I think that we will, on the social side, maybe we will lose as much as 5 to 10 years in terms of the changes that had begun to take place.
Right here in Chumvi, one successful case of a defilement case that is successful. An adult defiled a minor, and this case right now is in court. So this is, if this is a sign of things to come, then we are heading somewhere and things are turning well.
We cannot do the advocacy because of the protocol. We cannot bring people together. Because we have a lot of teenage pregnancies which are coming from teenagers themselves. We are having some girls who went back to school and they are going to school while coming from their husband and going back. And my prayer is for the judiciary to consider bringing a magistrate court down here instead of a mobile court. It's the highest time that we have it here, a children court, to be closer to this facility.
Anti-FGM activists like Helen Gadogo are determined to turn the tide, but much more needs to be done as the pandemic threatens their hard-won progress. Ruzongoi, NTV, Dol Dol.